It's Jordan Mon with J Money Disc Golf coming at you with part 3 of my 2023 In the Bag preview. Today, I'm talking about my fairway drivers. So starting off with my extreme understable fairway driver, this is the Mint Discs Freetail. And this is essentially a longer lobster from my mid-range video. It is made for releasing on hyzer, flipping up, flipping over, panning right. Because of its extreme understability, it is kind of a get out of jail free card a lot of times because I can throw it on a lot of different angles, a lot of different shapes. And because, again, it is so touchy, I can get it to shape a lot of different shots, especially in tight areas, tight lines, tight fairways. And it's always going to flip, pan, settle. It really doesn't have a whole lot of finish. It doesn't have a whole lot of fight. And it's really made to be a continuously turning driver at all times. The Freetail fits perfectly for that kind of 275 up to 350 foot continuously turning shot that a lot of times you see in the woods or, again, the tighter fairways. The only struggle with this disc is it does not handle headwinds at all. As soon as you get headwind on the disc, it's going to flip. It's going to be almost always turn into a roller. But for all of those continuously turning shots, the Mint Discs Freetail is the ticket. Next, I have the Mint Discs Jackalope. And this is a shorter, more stable version of the Freetail. If the Freetail is a longer lobster, this is a longer Mustang. It still has that understability. It will flip up, it will turn, and it will continue turning throughout the flight. However, because it has a little bit more fight to it and a little bit more overstability, I can shape it further straight before flipping it, or with a heavy hyzer release, I can get it to flip up to flat and gently pan right instead of turning. The Jackalope is another disc that doesn't do very well in headwinds, but when I'm in the woods or on a calm day in a tight line, tight fairway, it is always there for me to be able to manipulate all of those different angles to get the outcome that I'm looking for. Next, I have the Mint Discs Diamondback. And this one is just another step up from the Jackalope in terms of stability. I can get it to work a lot of different shots, a lot of different angles, and it always has a slight flip and then a fade at the end of the flight. The Diamondback is kind of my point and shoot fairway driver. Again, it is wholly dependent on the line of release and the angle of release. But once it is on that line, it will hold that line consistently throughout the flight. With a hyzer flip release, it will flip up, ride straight, finish very gently at the end of the flight. A flat release, it will work right, finishing gently at the end of the flight. On a hyzer, it will hold that hyzer, but again, it's a gentle finish even on a hyzer release, so it's not going to have a massive skip that a more overstable disc would always have. So a good way to think about the comparison of the three that I've just mentioned, the Freetail is going to be hard right, the Jackalope is going to be gentle right, and the Diamondback is going to be straight with a gentle finish. The complement to the Diamondback in my bag is a Discraft TI Undertaker. And I love this disc because it has consistent glide. It is one of the furthest reaching fairway drivers in my bag because it has so much torque resistance paired with glide, paired with a slow finish. Where the Diamondback will work right before a gentle finish, the Undertaker stays much straighter before a gentle finish. The Undertaker is also much more reliable in headwinds and on elevation changing shots. And finally, the narrow profile of the Undertaker allows for a very consistent grip where I'm engaging, again, my entire hand, but I can change the angles very easily because the disc is so shallow, but still has that beefy rim that I can really get a hold of and drive through the disc and through the flight plate on every shot for a consistent release. So for hyzer flip shots that work left at the end of the flight, or hyzer shots that are continuously working left in a slow panning fashion, the Undertaker is what I'm going to. Next, moving up in stability and down in speed, I carry a Greg Barsby Color Glow Eagle by Innova. The Eagle is a consistently overstable disc that can handle a ton of torque without ever truly flipping over. Because it is a 7-speed disc, the speed of the disc helps to limit or control distance on shots while also giving a ton of power and, again, that torque moving through the disc without flipping the disc. that allows for consistent, controllable shots on straight lines that require a finish or heavy hyzers that continue to work left. The other thing that I like about the Eagle is I can throw it on either forehand or backhand lines with consistency because it handles so much torque and because the rim fits so well into my hand and into my fingers for forehand and backhand shots. Because the Eagle is slower and not ridiculously overstable, I can use it to manipulate a ton of different lines with extreme control. When I have that tight line in the woods that I know needs to finish left, I can go to the Eagle because I can manipulate it more than I could a massively overstable disc. Because of its versatility and all of the different things that I can do with it, the Eagle is probably my most thrown fairway driver in my bag at this time. And now we get into the truly overstable discs in my fairway section. And this is a Discraft Big Z Raptor. The Raptor is a consistently overstable fairway driver that I can depend on to finish every single time. Forehand or backhand lines, I know that it's going to be fighting out through the entire flight, and it is going to bite hard as the power drops from the disc and it has that opportunity to really finish. The Raptor is also great for forehand rollers and skip shots on hyzer, either forehand or backhand, that really need to hit the ground and continue moving in the same line. I went with the Big Z plastic specifically because it is a little bit more overstable than most other runs of Raptor, and it is incredibly durable, and it can be used in the cold and the warm weather. And the final slot in my fairway section is the Mint Discs Nocturnal Phoenix. The Phoenix is one of the most overstable drivers that I have found that still is comfortable in the hand and really can be thrown consistently. The Phoenix complements the Raptor in my fairway section, and it also complements the deflector in my mid-range section. It is essentially a longer deflector. It has that constant fight and constant bite throughout the flight. No matter which way it's thrown, it's always going to finish. It's always going to be pushing heavily throughout the entire flight. The Phoenix is a utility disc because of its extreme overstability. But when you get into that corner and you know that you need that overstability, this guy comes in really handy and has gotten me out of a lot of tight problems and tight shots. That is it for my fairway section of my bag. If you missed parts 1 and 2 of my bag talking about my putters and my mid-ranges, check out the description. I've got the links down there. And as always, before you go, please subscribe, like, and share the channel with a friend. I'll see you next time.